Welcome back to another episode of Your Relationship Sucks! Exclamation point. Excited for today's question. Just like always, I don't know what's coming. The audience doesn't know what's coming. I haven't heard any of this. This is all off the top of my head, all improvised. Who knows what's going on? Other than you,
I do.
nobody does. That's it. Nobody. You're the only one who knows what's happening.
The power.
Before we get into it, please follow us on social media. We got TikTok, Instagram. Please share, follow, spread the word, all that stuff. It helps us out. Same thing with the podcast. Please subscribe, rate, review, all that stuff. We're gonna do some stuff with the reviews, so if you leave one, it'll be helpful. But also, just tell other people about it. Again, it helps us get the word out, all that stuff. Thank you very much. Same thing with YouTube, all that stuff. But let's get into the most dangerous show for anybody's reputation on the internet. Let's get into it. Initial
impressions. For those of us that have reputations to protect.
That's right.
Which is only one of us.
It's not me. Let's get into initial impressions. Hit me with it. What do you got?
I, a 40-year-old male, am in love with an escort, a 25-year-old female.
This is not, my initial impression is this is so sad. It's so sad to hear this. This is a 40-year-old man who is writing on Reddit, which is not good already. And then to have fallen in love with someone that you're paying for sex, not going to work out. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's not going to work out. This is maybe the saddest question that we've ever had, ever in the history of this show. This is a very sad question. I'm already very sad. It's probably going to get worse. Hit me with some of the details.
8 years ago, my wife passed away, and I had a difficult time coping. Eventually, I tried online dating, but it went nowhere. I started seeing an escort, and she was amazing. We really connected on an emotional level as well as a physical level. I've seen her at least once a week for the past 5 years. I feel like we've grown close over this time, and she's opened up to me as well. She's told me her real name, and I've been in her actual condo. She's told me her reasons for becoming an escort. We talk about her family, and I've even taken her on a vacation several times. We text daily. We talk about her school and her career, and this is what is messing me up. I have a strong connection, but I also realize it's her job and I'm paying her. The problem for me is that she's now done with school and is ready to move back home to begin her career and quit being an escort. She told me all this during Christmas when she bought me a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. What the fuck? She said she was thankful to me for being a great client all these years, and she said that she is going to miss me. She said that even though I was a client, I always made her feel special. She said she's going to miss venting to me and appreciated me always listening to her. She said she's planning on making the move this spring. I'm mentally preparing for it, but I don't know if I can handle it. I think I'm in love with her. I want to tell her this. I want to tell her I love her and she means everything to me. I really think she has feelings too, but I don't know. Maybe she's really good at her job. It's probably a long shot, but I'd love to be in a real relationship with her. Hell, I'd even relocate with her. Should I tell her I love her? I'm 40, no kids. I don't have a lot of close friends. All I have is my career. What do I have to lose? I don't know. Then again, if this is just a part of her job as an escort, I don't want to make her feel awkward.
Whew. All right. Well, he's not wrong about basically anything he said. She is like, I don't understand this part of it. This is so two things. One, he says, I love her. Maybe. It kind of sounds to me like this is somebody who has just decided, hey, you know what? Dating was difficult. And for whatever reason, you know, he wasn't able to connect with somebody after his wife passed away and all that stuff. And, you know, and that sucks. I mean, you know, his wife passed away when he was 32. Like that's just kind of a tough time. I mean, you're still in the dating world or whatever, but it's kind of a tough time for, you know, for somebody to pass. You're still pretty young and you're saying, you know, we got a lot of years left and all that stuff. So I get that. Well,
it's also, I think, hard to have be 32 and have like your spouse have passed away. It's like you didn't get divorced. Like there's not many other 32-year-olds that can really empathize with that, right? Like they don't know what's that. Like they might be divorced. Like a large majority might be divorced, but like it's a very small amount that have a dead spouse.
Yeah, 100%. But here's the thing. It feels like this guy has done two things, but the most important one is that he has basically said, I'm going to pay for this woman to be in my life so nobody else is going to be, so I don't have to have somebody else in my life, right? Like I'm just going to replace my wife basically with this woman, and not even in a way where it says like I don't have to get intimate. Obviously, you know, he's saying that he wants to be intimate with this person, and he has been intimate and all that, but he's saying this is an easier way for me to get that intimacy than, you know, dating and all that stuff, which is fine. What I don't understand is this guy's reluctance to do what he's already said he should do. And for all of the reasons that he stated, he said very specifically, I don't have anything to lose. She's leaving anyways. All of that stuff. And then he said, I just don't want to make her feel awkward. What do you think is going to happen? Like, are you worried that you're not going to be able to text her at some point? Like, that's not going to work for you anyways. She's going to be long distance. You're going to be jealous as hell. You're going to have to stop texting her anyways. So if you make her feel awkward and she doesn't want to text you, great. That's the best thing you could possibly happen to you, right? Like I don't understand what his reluctance is. Like, you're right, dude. Maybe she has these feelings. I don't know. Maybe she does. It's been 5 years. My guess is she probably feels some sort of way about you. My guess also is she probably doesn't want to sleep with you for the rest of her life. That's my guess. Like, she has said very specifically, I'm out of here. I'm going to start a career. I'm going to stop being a call girl later. Seems like she's already made her decision. But maybe she hasn't. Maybe she doesn't know. You don't have anything to lose. The worst case scenario is she's still going to leave. So that's the base case already. So just say it, make it awkward, and it'll be a cleaner break, because she's not like the 25-year-old who is, well, it shouldn't even have to be pretty, but in particular, a pretty 25-year-old, probably not going to be chasing after a 40-year-old dude that lives states away if he's not showering her with tons of cash. So I don't like, your only shot basically is to say, hey, what's up? And I'll move with you and we could just keep this up. But I just get the feeling that, you know, yeah, he thinks it's love and all that stuff because he's afraid of going out to somebody else and saying, you know, hey, do you think that we should get together? And, you know, all those things. So I guess I don't really understand. Like, this is a very reasonable guy, but someone who is incredibly desperate, because a 40-year-old person should not be asking these questions on Reddit. A 40-year-old person should not be asking questions like this. End of story. It is, if you are 40 years old and you still have not figured out your life in such a way that you have to ask the internet about relationships, something is terribly wrong. Something has gone horribly wrong in your life. You should fix that or something. You should start over. You should, I don't know, do something different, meet some more people. I don't know. But if you're a 40-year-old person and you are still getting relationship advice from the internet, you have not lived enough in your life. That's the answer. Because the reason that older people know what's happening in relationships is not because they're smarter. It's because they have more experience. They've seen these problems over and over with themselves and their friends. And they know how it plays out, because all of these things continue to play out, because human beings don't change. We're all the same over and over and over again, right? All the same problems that we all have to experience. We have to learn, we have to relearn those things, but it's the same thing over and over and over again. And so this guy is telling me that he does not have enough of this experience. There's any number, I know so many people who have fallen in love with strippers, who have fallen in love with, you know, whatever. Like T-Pain was sold a ton of records based on the premise that he has fallen in love with a woman who takes off her clothes for the cash that he is giving her. That was a hit song for a number of years, by the way. That was a hit song for a while. And if it comes on, people of a certain age think this thing is a fucking banger, right? Like, that still exists. So I get it. And look, I have I have been to, I'm not a big strip club guy. I know this guy's an escort. Like, this is an escort, it's a different thing. But like, I'm not a big strip club guy. I'm not, it's purely a monetary thing for me. Like, strippers are nice people. Some of them are horrible, I've met, but like some of them are very nice people. They're just trying to do a job.
Average. It's like the rest of the human race, right? There's good people, there's bad people.
Some of them are terrible people.
Yeah.
Some of them are real angels. Some of them are just kind of blah like that. But that's how it works, right? But I've been there. I fundamentally don't like to spend money on that. So it's not something I enjoy doing. Like, I don't like to get attention that way. It doesn't make me better. It's just like, it doesn't have anything to do with like, I'm thinking like, oh, it's immoral, or I don't like to part with money. That's just a thing about me. So I'm not a big strip club guy, but I've been to strip clubs, in which case I have seen strippers who are incredibly hot, right? I mean, I've also been to strip clubs where I've seen strippers and I'm like, I don't really want to see you get naked. But the ones who are attractive, I've looked at them and I'm like, you know what? I think she's really pretty. It would be cool to go talk to her. Everybody has those thoughts, right? Every guy has those, like, hey, you know what? It would be cool to date her. She's hot. She moves her body really well. Probably the sex is awesome. Like, all those things. There has never been a single time in my life where I have been there with a stripper and I've gone, I think this stripper is kind of feeling me, right? But it's not because like I don't have those thoughts. It's because very specifically, I have always been one of the uglier people in my friend group. It's always been the case. Like, my friends have always been more attractive than me, right? Including my best friend, who is like a really handsome guy. Well, I spent a lot of time with this really handsome guy. And so I have just been in enough situations where I'm like, I am not choice number one. Right? Like, most of my life, I've been in rooms where I'm like, I'm definitely not choice one. You know, I may be choice two, you know, maybe choice three. I might be one of the first handful of people, but I'm definitely not the first call. And that's always been the case. Like, that's just how it works. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, that's how it is. And so what you have to understand is, if you're in that situation, is the hot girl probably not going home with you unless you are bringing something incredible to the table, right? Unless you've got like a Milton Berle sized cock, you are not, and I don't think anybody gets that reference, but Milton Berle was an old time celebrity who supposedly had a gigantic cock, like just the biggest penis in the world, right? And that's what he was known, like, that's part of what he was known for. So unless you have that, or unless you have a ton of money, or unless you're famous or whatever, like, you're not going to be the number one for the hot girl, right? Now, here's the other thing. I know people who have slept with strippers, who have gotten strippers' real names, who have done those things. Guess what? They were the better looking people in my friend group. Like, the better looking people I know, the strippers are like, hey, you know what? Because they're people, and they're like, hey, this other person is hot. I would like to have sex with them. It happens. But it's never happened to an average looking guy. So here's my point with all of this. This guy, he knows deep down, he knows who he is, right? And if he doesn't, then he's fucking blind because he's 40 years old. You know who you are. You know where you are slotted. Like, you've been around enough faces in your life to know the symmetry of mine does not match the symmetry of X% of the other ones that I see. Understand that about yourself. But the thing that you have that this guy has with this woman is he has spent a lot of time with her. So, like, he has to understand that it's like, she's not going to be like, this dude's so hot, I want to be with him because he's like a hot older guy. It's not what it's going to be. It's going to be an emotional connection situation. So if she shared some stuff with you and all of those things, I know people who have had relationships with strippers, all those things. They have a real connection with them, right? I mean, they're people. Like, they have connections with people, just not everybody. I don't know who else this woman has been sleeping with, being paid to be sleeping with. I don't know what other connections she's made. She might have other clients who are very much in the same vein. I don't know.
Not even clients, you know?
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know who it is. But if you have that, you are a step up above most people when it comes to this particular woman. So even if she has 7 other guys who she's had this sort of relationship with, then it's just you versus those other 7 guys, right? It's not you versus everybody else because you have had that emotional connection. So that's why I don't understand the reticence for this guy to be like, I don't know if I should like say, like, what should I do? I don't want to make it. Dude, she's going to leave anyway. She's leaving you. She's leaving you. She is going to disappear. She's going to stop texting you. You're not going to be friends. You're not. You are not, absolutely not going to be friends with this woman. Make it awkward. Because the worst case scenario is she's just gone. Fine. She's gone anyways. But the best case scenario is that she wants to keep sleeping with you. She wants to keep having an emotional connection with you. And maybe she'll stop having you pay for it. That would be awesome, right? Like, I mean, whatever. Like, this guy spent tens of thousands of dollars on this woman. Good for you.
Honestly, another positive, which isn't going to come off like this, but if she does go and you've told her and she says, I do not feel the same way, that's some closure for him to potentially find someone that he's not paying to like engage in a relationship with.
Or to find somebody else to pay to be in a relationship with.
I'm not saying he can't.
No, but I'm saying it closes it on her. And now he can move on from her to whatever else he wants.
Because if he doesn't say something, he's always going to think about it. Even if they talk once or twice a year, he doesn't sound like he's going to move on because of the connection that he has. No. And I think this happens to people all the time, whether or not it's an escort. I mean, people remain friends with someone for 20 years that they've, had feelings for, and they're like, I'm worried it's going to ruin our friendship. Your friendship's already ruined. Okay. Like it's not a friendship if you want to constantly have sex with that person and it's ruining your possibility of other relationships. That's 100%. Not really a friendship. It's already ruined. It's better to get on the table and like figure out, like, move on, because either you can move on or friendship's over and you have a chance of having maybe a life where you get to feel fulfilled.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Who knows? I mean, whether or not she likes him is like irrelevant to what he needs to do. And that should be for everyone's life. It's irrelevant really how the other person feels. It's how you feel. And, it doesn't sound like he is going to do something in a disrespectful way. He's gonna be like, I care about you. And I'd like this to not be, a business agreement. I'd like us to try being in an actual relationship. I don't understand, that's not going to make someone, it sucks if you're the person and you have to say no to someone, but that's not hurting the other person. That's not, going to make someone feel awkward for longer than a little bit. It might make them feel bad for letting you down, but it gives them a chance to also respectfully say how they feel instead of feeling awkward. Like she might feel that she has to say something to him too. So, I think it's an interesting premise, no matter what, for everyone has been in this situation.
All of these people, if you're out there and you feel a certain way about anybody in your life that you haven't said that to, you're doing yourself a disservice. Whether you hate them, you love them, you think they're funny, if you're not telling other people that, all of those things, you're doing yourself a disservice, because that's meaningful to you. It's going to be meaningful to them. What, good or bad, doesn't matter, but it's going to help. It's going to help your relationship with everybody. And especially if you think it's love. Like, I am shocked by the amount of people. Like, I have a very different relationship with love than most people do, but I genuinely am awed. Like, I am genuinely awed by real love. Like, when I see real love, I'm genuinely awed. Like, I am blown away when I see it for real. And it's not often, but when you see it for real, it's amazing. And I am shocked every time I hear people talk about this stuff, and they're like, I think I love this person or whatever, or I have feelings or whatever. And I'm like, if you're not chasing that bliss, if you're not trying to grab just 1 second of what that could be, I have zero respect for you. I don't understand your decision-making process. I don't understand the fear, because it's worth, from my understanding, it's worth, and when I've seen it, it looks like it's worth all the bullshit to just have 10 seconds of that in your life at any point. Even if it doesn't last, even if it's just having that for 10 seconds to know what that feels like, is basically winning at life. And if you're out there and you think it's even possible to have that, whether they agree or not, doesn't matter. If you think it's possible and you aren't saying something, that you're doing yourself a disservice. And honestly, I'm not rooting for you. I don't root for people who are like, I'm afraid to tell the other person. Go fuck yourself. Why should I feel bad for you because you're a pussy? You know what I mean? Like, don't be a bitch. Go fucking tell them. That's my point. Like, why would I feel bad for you? Why should I be rooting for you because you don't want to tell somebody? Why? Because I've seen it on a sitcom? I don't root for the people on the sitcoms. You know? I didn't root for Jim in season 1 when he was like, I don't want to tell this girl how I feel. Tell her, dude. Just tell her. What's the worst that happens? She marries some other guy. She's going to do it anyways. So tell her. And then he did it. And I went, that's what I'm talking about. Now I respect this guy. But that's the thing. Like, all these people, they're like, oh, I don't want to tell him. You know, I don't want to say anything. No, go fuck yourself. I'm not rooting for you. I don't find it cute that you don't have the balls to tell the other person, here is something meaningful from me to you. That doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a pussy. That's what it makes. Honestly, that's what it makes you. It makes you scared. You're a big fucking scaredy cat. Just unwilling to put yourself out there. I don't root for that. I don't root for people like that. Because the people that I've seen who have that, they, at some point, they had to take the leap. They had to say it to the other person. And it wasn't easy for anybody to do. So that's why I'm not rooting for this guy unless he says something. But he already knows. He's already said it out loud. He's just scared. And I say, look, man, I'm not going to feel bad for you unless you say something. And if she says no, I'm still not going to feel bad for you, because I'm going to say, look, man, you took a chance. You took a chance. Not everybody's willing to do that. Good for you. Pick yourself up. Go find somebody else. But now you know. Now you know. Right? So anyways, I don't know. That's from me. Do you have any other thoughts? That's I think, you know, this guy knows what he wants.
I don't think you could have said it any better. Like always.
This guy knows what he wants. Just go for it, man. And that's for all the people out there. If you want something, ask for it. Tell somebody. That's the only way you're going to make it happen. Tell other people. Just like I'm telling other people about this show. We've done it. That's an unbelievable. You see that? That was unbelievable. That was fantastic. That just oh, boom, right there. Yeah. Just right into the next topic. Unbelievably smooth. We appreciate anybody who's watching and listening and all that stuff. Please, you know, subscribe to the podcast and rate, review, all that, and YouTube as well. Do that. Please follow us on social media. We have TikTok and Instagram. It's Your Relationship Sucks on those. Please help us out. Share it with other people. Spread the word, all those things. We like doing this. We want to keep doing this. If you have your own questions, comments, whatever, you can hit us up at the email. What's the email?
The email is info.yourrelationshipsucks@gmail.com.
So you can hit us up there. You also check out the link for the Karma Cancer apparel. It looks awesome. It really does. Genuinely, it looks awesome. But I just want to see a couple of people out there. If you do get some, send us a picture. We'll put it up. But it genuinely does look pretty awesome. I like it a lot. So please, check that out as well. But until next time, this was another episode of Your Relationship Sucks. We will see everybody later.